Gil,
Yes.
can you send the link,
Yeah.
to Ralph? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I sent him the Zoom room, everything, but he doesn't really use Zoom. If you could send the link to him.
Sure.
Um,
Sure. Not a problem. Not.
okay, he's gonna do that now. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, Ralph.
No, no worries. Is he going to send it to
Oh.
my email or which one?
Am
Yeah.
I gonna send it to his email or?
Uh. Yeah. I can. Hang on. Let me get my email up so I can.
Okay.
So I can go ahead and get that. I can do that.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No, no worries.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. So let's
I should have been
see.
on a few minutes earlier.
Right. Okay.
All right. So I'm ready. What's your email?
What's the email, Ralph?
Sales@tenacontrols.com.
Sales@tenacontrols.com.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Gilbert while I'm talking to you through the mic and the radio. So.
Oh, excellent.
And
Well, that went over.
There we go.
To a
So
couple 100 million people. There you
Oh, the original?
so yeah, you should be getting it any second.
go. All right, you should be getting it any second, and then we can get you on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought like automatically use Zoom, and then
No, I don't.
yeah. So okay. Okay. Ah, there you are. Okay, I'm gonna hang up.
Hey, bud.
Hey, Ralph, how's it going, man?
How you doing?
Good. Hello, gentlemen.
And he uses
Okay.
that term loosely. So okay. So it is 2:05. It is time for Model Citizen. I'm your host, George Dare. I am flanked by my wonderful host and the guy who keeps everything running here, the Angus of IT nerds, Gilbert Floyd. And we have another special guest. We have a special guest today. He is our returning champion, Ralph Tenaglia from Tenna Controls. Welcome, sir.
Glad to be here.
The business end of the program is we are streaming right now on our GCPR YouTube channel. We are streaming on GCPR.live, which is the radio, and we are also going to TikTok, Twitch, and the other streaming platforms that we frequent. The business end of the program is, we do have Ralph Tenaglia on, who is the owner and operator of Tenna Controls. Tenna Controls bringing models to light. They are makers of electronic boards for lighting boards for model kits, and also lighting kits with LEDs and wiring and all this other stuff. So there's boards or that. If you need any special stuff, you can call Ralph. You can go to the website. His number is there. It's Tenna Controls, TENA Controls.com. And our other sponsor for Model Citizen is AAA Hobbies. AAA Hobbies is in Magnolia, New Jersey, but they do have an online store called megahobby.com. So that is the business end of the program. Hello, Ralph, and welcome again. You had something new to, I guess,
Oh, yeah.
to tell us. You have a new, you have a new board. The floor is yours. The program is yours, sir.
Thank you. We were asked again to look into the lighting kit for the new ship that came out recently. Well, it's been quite a few months, I guess, the Strange New World Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, and we decided to use the the lighting effects. There's different seasons on it, but the people that do the modeling in your community and my community, they thought it would be cool if we used the strobe and nav effects on one of the seasons. I think it was season 2, where they, instead of blinking on off, they just glow. They
Oh,
just
kind of like a
glow.
pulsating effect. Yeah.
Yeah, just glow. Ramp, I guess.
Oh, ramp up.
Ramp down in the same time base as you would have the flash instead of.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. We got the effect down packed. The timing is right, and like we do it digitally. We set it digitally, so it is accurate. So that's that, and that the community has received that very well. It's been selling a lot. Distributors are buying them in frequent numbers. So that tells me that you guys are building the Strange New World Enterprise ship. And yeah, so that's as we say in the biz, that's in the can. It's all set up and ready to go. And then Steve at Cult TV Man suggested we were chatting because he's one of our distributors, and he goes, there's no lighting kit for the Cerritos ship.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's right.
I said, okay. Took a look at it, and I also noticed my good friend of mine, Lou Del Maso at Aztec Dummy, had he builds them up to showcase things and does his Aztecing for them and things like that. So we are now I have a ship, thanks to Steve, and thanks to Lou. He did a lot of the legwork in how to light it. So I chatted with him for a while. That I said, yeah, Steve asked me to make a lighting kit for him, and I'm going to use most of the work you did because Lou and I are in the same wavelength when it comes to lighting. We agree on what type of lighting to do in a particular area. We might have a couple of differences because the Cerritos, because it's an animated type series, they didn't really, for some reason, he said they didn't put any flashing lights on it. There's no strobes that flash, no nabs that flash. Everything is static. So what we're going to do is just to liven it up a bit. We are going to put the colored nabs, like the red, when you have the starboard and port side, top of the saucer. But instead of blinking, they're just going to be static. But it's better than just having window lightings and nothing else, because that's basically, what it comes down to. And we're going to use for the nacelles, where the lighting effect on the nacelles, it's almost like you can see it out of the sides, and I think the bottom too.
Right.
So sometimes it's a little bit harder to do with the LED strip tape. Well, you guys probably know this. They have those, I guess people call them, for lack of a better word, like a noodle LED string.
Oh, yeah.
3-volt.
Yeah, they're flexible LED filament.
Yes, exactly. And so we're going to do that in this, but because we can't glue it, Lou suggested some sort of a clear straw or something where you can put the filament in it so it stays
Yeah, I've
horizontal.
I take this. Actually, I use something called Chemical Guys for the car, and it has that clear straw, which is polypropylene. I pull that out and I actually put that into the straw. You can use that for like everything. Like I use it like for phaser effects. If you're going to do like a phaser effect, it actually glows over the 360 because the actual filament is encased in silicon. So it gives you like a light dispersal. There's no hot spots in it.
Exactly. So it's a great innovation. We used that on the Maria seated robot. That worked out pretty good for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing is we needed to find it in blue, and we found it, and we got the right length. So I'm going to be eager to try it. We have some clear tubes at work. It's a little bit opaque, but I'm going to try that out because it will hold the filament in place, and we'll offer that in the lighting kit because I asked my wife, I said, hey, we got clear straws. She comes down with this. So there's blue in there, but it's dark blue, so I don't know how it'll translate.
It not going to translate too well. What I've done is I found that and I can't find it anywhere. I can't find those, like I can't find the tube. If you do find the tube, it's actually going to be in a roll, and you're going to have to straighten it out, which is going to be a real pain in the butt.
Well,
It's better. It's better just to get it from and my initial effect to do that with, because I was working on a sculpture of the id monster from Forbidden Planet, where is going to have the personnel with like laser batteries actually firing,
Yep.
and actually have the filament inside those tubes, kind of using a what was it? A black, like I can't. Oh my god, I can't even think of it.
I feel bad now.
It would be a the black heat shrink tubing. Now,
Yes.
if you look at how the guns fire in Forbidden Planet, they're little pulses. It's not one long stream like on Star Trek. It's a pulse. So basically, you would take the black, heat shrink tubing, put it over that tubing, and kind of
Oh, cut
make
out
little
the areas that you want to see. Yes.
right.
That's a
right
great
thing you
idea.
want,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna do it that way.
Yep.
And then you have it kind of like stop, like it's not really being animated, but it is one whole thing. That was the effect that I was going for.
Right.
And in my experiments, I found out that the flexible, the flexibility filament is 3 volts. It's
Yes.
it can't be 3 point. I found out it can't be 3.7. If you have a 3.7 rechargeable battery, it'll blow it out. It just blows it out. It gets to a certain point. It has to be 3 volts exactly.
Well, the thing is, I see what you're saying. Okay, so even though it's a filament, it follows the same principle as an LED.
Right.
That's the forward volt. In technical terms, it's called the forward voltage. Now, you cannot connect a battery to it. You always have to have a resistor.
Right.
So, what we did with the Maria, seated Maria, because it's the same principle, is you put a resistor in it in series with it, and basically what you do is it's the same old formula. Whatever voltage you have, whether it's 12 volts, 9, or 5,
Mm-hmm.
you subtract the 3 volts from that. So that gives you, let's say in our case, we had 12 volts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means you subtract 3, you get 9. Then you divide 9 volts by how much current you want to drive through that filament. Some of these filaments can take 20, some can take 300.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put 300, then you got other constraints. You got to, you don't want to generate heat.
Right.
So basically,
Mhm.
we found like even 20 or 30 milliamps for the Maria, the warm white was bright enough to achieve that. So you have to have a resistor in series, and the 3 volt flexible noodle LED
Mm-hmm.
will actually self-govern itself to 3
Oh.
volts. So the only time it can't self-govern itself is when you decide to run it like with a 3.7 battery. You can run it with that as long as you say to yourself, okay, I got 3.7, subtract 3 volts, you got 0.7 volts, then figure out a resistor. And if you do in series with it, then you can run from your 3.7 without ever blowing it out.
Right. I've been using these digital. They're like digital DC to DC converters.
Yes.
So it actually has a pod on it. You can actually turn the little, thing, and you can adjust the
Whatever
voltage.
voltage, right?
Yeah. So I adjust the voltage on that, and that actually drives it. But I mean, I could put up to. I mean, I could put a 12-volt rechargeable battery pack on it, and I'd keep it on for 3 days, which I've actually done the test on it. I was actually I was going to ask you if you if you can make me another board for the Seaview thing, because now I'm like, well, wait a minute, I don't have to put the LED strip on there. I can now put I could put the LED filament,
Guess what?
on.
You're safe. Guess what?
Uh,
You can use the same board because it's a transistor output.
oh, okay, cool.
We just have to figure out the resistor.
Have to figure out the resistor. Okay.
How big is it? Well, I forget. Do you remember?
It's the sonar was like 10 inches in diameter,
Okay,
and it's just a
you can't get
comfort.
them that long, right?
Yeah.
You can
100.
300
You
milliamps?
can get them up to 11 inches.
You can,
Yeah, they make up to 11 inches. That's 100, no, 500 millimeter,
yeah, something like that.
500 millimeter.
300 is what? 10 inches, right? A little bit over 10 inches.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, 300. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, it can be because we're going to use, I think it's 185 millimeters for the nacelles for the Cerritos. Comes out to the lid area because the ends have the metal rods you can connect to. So I think it's like 7.5. So that should be sufficient. But yeah, so that board will drive the noodles. We just got to limit the current, right?
yeah,
With a
yeah,
resistor.
because they're very it's very thin. It's about 1/16 of an inch.
Oh, the
The well the actual flexible filament that the LEDs are mounted on.
yeah.
They're flexible. I think it's a full lid. It's a flexible organic LED.
To be honest, I don't know I never bothered
Medium.
myself to interest in what's inside of it. I know that it works. You can actually sometimes we buy them. They have examples
Right.
inside like an LED bulb you'd use in your house. You know those bulbs,
Yeah.
things like that. I guess they're starting to use them in those. They have been using in those items.
Yeah. I've been using the smaller ones. I sculpted out which I have to give one to Gilbert. I'll send one to you if you want one. I have the prop for the kryptonite, the one like from Superman the movie,
Hmm.
and I just found the chain, the plastic chain, the like the 2-inch plastic chain from Amazon. I found the right chain this time. I'm sculpting out the actual back of it. I have the front of it, but I've been using those green LEDs to light, the kryptonite so it actually glows,
Cool.
and
Yep.
then put that with with like a 3-volt battery pack,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a resistor.
Yep.
So yeah, they're very, very bright. I mean, the illumination. I think the illumination of 4 of those in a bulb that I've seen at Home Depot, which are about 12. They're 12 volts. They're like, I think they're in like a 110 socket, but there are resistors and everything on it. 4 of those. I think the illumination is it's 1,500 lumens. I think it's 1,500.
Quite a bit,
lumens.
huh?
Yeah, they're like very bright. 4 of them. One of them is very bright. So it's like it's great if you're gonna do. I mean, the only thing I could think of would be laser fire from like the all-terrain armored transports, like from Star Wars, where they have like like they had the individual bolts coming out of the all-terrain armored transport. That was the only other thing I can think of. That, or if you had a miniature guy who's like a Jedi and he's holding like the lightsaber. And a couple of my friend Tim Berg from Lehigh Valley Scale Modelers Club, he had a model kit of Luke Skywalker, and he wanted to make the lightsaber. I said, well, why don't you go get the LED filament? And then I got him some LED filament. I sent it to him, and then he put it through the straw, because the lightsaber beam that comes with the kit is clear.
Right.
and you have to put like an LED in the handle. I said, well, if the entire thing was lit, and it glowed, and then he did it, and I mean, it came out fantastic.
Happy with
Yeah.
it? Happy?
Yeah. The one thing I didn't, the one thing I didn't like was the other end. I mean, for an engine in a nacelle, it's easier to hide the wires with a lightsaber beam. It's kind of hard to
That's true. because
to
you-
yeah, because you have that one at the top and it has to stream down. What I've used is in the past, I've used the solid core copper wire from Network Wire, and that's what I've used. Like it's very thin, and it has a sheathing on it. So the the 8 positions that you would go into an Ethernet connector with for Network Wire. I forget what gauge that is. Is that
Probably like 30 gauge.
probably 30?
Because
Yeah.
it's small, it's tiny.
Yeah. It's a little bit, it's about a 1/16 of an inch thick. So it's pretty small.
Yeah. Oh, you
Yeah.
mean the actual wire?
Well, the actual wire itself. Yeah. The actual wire with the sheathing on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I guess Tim did it and he was like, "Oh, this is great." But what he did was with the outer plastic sheeting was he sanded it. So it actually does like a better dispersal of light.
Oh, okay.
So you really don't see the wire that's within. Sometimes you can.
Well, sometimes, it takes a little bit of trial and error, and eventually you guys get it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I'm gonna have to do that sonar one. We're actually gonna. I just want to tell our listeners we were gonna take some time off so that hopefully I can get the sonar thing done and then show you when we come back. So our last show is going to not our season finale, not our series finale. Our season finale is going to be last show is going to be May 31st, I believe. Let me find out. So our last show of the season is going to be May 31st for Model Citizen. We're gonna take the summer off because I'm on a few shows and Gilbert is on like almost every single show and he wants to actually eat something and get some rest.
Yeah.
And September 6th we will be back, but so mark your calendars, May 31st, and then hopefully we'll have some of Ralph's stuff to show you because I have stuff on my bench that are just sitting there going, yeah, you're going to get to it. Sure. You're going to get to it. Sure. Yeah. So,
Typical hobby.
So,
A lot of things to do.
yeah. As my friend Dave Evaldi, because we had Dave Evaldi on, the one show he was showing us all of his models. He actually came up with a great slogan for a t-shirt that, I'm a retired modeler. Every day is Saturday. I was like, that would be a great shirt. So we'll have to work on that shirt.
David retired. I was talking to him a while back that he was going to retire. And
Yeah, he's retired now.
he's finally officially retired.
Yep, finally Fisher retired. Yep. He's
Good.
got a honey-do list, like I have a honey-do list.
Don't we all?
We all have a honey-do list. So yeah. But yeah, we're yeah, some things I want to get done. I want to get the sonar thing done. I want to get the Sea-View thing done. I have to sculpt out a lot of other stuff. I'm working on so many things. I have 6, 7 things in my queue
Wow.
that I have to work on, and I just can't get to everything, So, and hopefully I'll get to everything before I die. That would be nice.
Well, that would be a
but,
bonus.
But
That'd be nice.
I mean, Yeah,
It'd be nice.
definitely. Yeah. So you have the Strange New Worlds Enterprise. You're also doing the USS Cerritos
Yep.
from Lower Decks. Are there anything else coming in the pike or?
Um, Not yet. Not yet. It's just we've um, we've been fortunate the last month. Well, started actually in February. We picked up another distributor, well, hobby store in Canada, Hobby Sense.
Oh, cool.
They, yeah,
Mhm.
they said we want to carry your stuff. We heard
Nice.
about you. Want to start? So they put a list of controls, well, not controls, but a list of lighting kits that they wanted to order, and we finally got it through. Up there. It was a little bit of a deal at the beginning with this tariff situation. There was a little bit of a hiccup with the information that we had gathered for company names and everything that didn't really translate through
Hmm.
invoice to UPS, and I guess UPS made a mistake and coded it incorrectly. So it was like 3 weeks, because they were going to have to pay like thousands of dollars in VAT fees and tariff fees.
Wow.
So it was
Man.
missed,
Yeah.
the tariff was missed, it
As-
wasn't put in correctly because the tariff code we use is well, at least for the up in Canada for the time being, is exempt from tariff.
Okay.
Things change so quickly these days. I don't know what's coming or going.
Right.
But
So-
we can only do what we can. But anyway, they got their product. They're happy. And then this past week, we picked up another hobby store in Georgia, MDD Models Inc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they want to carry our stuff. They bought a lot of light kits, some tenant controls, mostly tenant controls, and they also bought some of the Madman lighting kits that also we own Madman, as you know. So yeah, so it's very busy times, George. Very busy.
I
Yeah,
had,
it's funny
Matt-
that you say
Go ahead.
when you mentioned about tariffs, because there's a question here that, and I think you might have partially answered it as well. SE in the chat says how much the tariffs affected the cost of your projects. You know,
You mean monetarily? for us?
monetarily, like percentage wise or monetarily wise.
Well, Floyd, here's the thing. We ordered, everything comes from China. Let's just face it, okay?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
processes do come from Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, but that's where they're at. And even if you buy them, some of the stuff you buy here, you'd have to pay more, but you still get a tariff because they get it from overseas, and that's just that's the game. That's the way it is, and there's nothing
Yeah.
nothing we can do about it for now, for the time being. So anyway, we had ordered over 100 remote controls that we use in our some of our lighting kits, like the NX, the Enterprise E, the Enterprise D. Those are all remote controlled boards. The remote control is integrated into the control board. So, without the remote control, the board's useless because it's all one and the same. But anyway, to make a long story short, we had ordered them in, what was it, mid-February. It finally arrived, was it 3 weeks ago? And to this date, I have not got an invoice to pay a tariff cost because I guess it's the tariffs kick in when you buy it. When we bought
Okay.
it, there was still the 10% tariff, and I guess companies have been absorbing that, what have you. But now it's at 145. One time I heard 245. I don't know what's going on. But what ends up happening is when you order from overseas and the tariff is in place, that's when you get hit with a tariff. It's not so much when they arrive. Like, let's say I was to order something today and we know the tariff is 145%. So that means it's more than double the cost, right? Even if it
Mhm.
arrives 6 weeks from now or 8 weeks from now, and the government says, oh, we're going to take the tariffs away, right? We've reached a deal. I'm
Mhm.
still going to get hit with that 100 because I ordered in the time frame that the tariffs were enacted.
Right.
Right.
So right to this moment, I've been absorbing some of the tariffs. I'm getting low on some of my boards. So when I reorder, I think that's when the rubber will hit the road. I'm going to have to think about potential some price increase. Um, ideally, if I can work it out on my website, I don't know if I can unless I get my programmer to do it again, is to put like when you hit the buy button, there'll be like a line. Also, here's the cost of like let's say lighting kit XYZ, and down below it there'll be another additional line that will say tariff, and it'll have a cost. That way, it saves me from increasing the cost of the kit, the lighting
Right.
kit. And when my tariffs, that particular product goes through the pipeline, because Steve and I have had a conversation at Cult TV, man. See, sometimes people don't understand people being the end user, right? Why the costs sometimes stay on for a long time. Well, if I buy, I usually buy anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 boards at a time, and we have 70 products. So we have some boards that we can use across products, but there's quite a few boards that we buy. Now, if that lasts me 2 years or 2.5 years or a year, that price increase is going to, stay for that whole year. I can't take it off because I've
Right.
spent that money. You see,
Right.
even if the tariffs were to go away, if I bought it when I had to pay the tariff, my inventory is still there. I need to deplete that inventory before we can potentially think about a price decrease. And then with inflation and this and that, so sometimes the price doesn't go down. It's like the old story. You see, yeah, price go up and then never come down. There's somewhat a reality to that,
Hmm.
Hmm.
unfortunately. But to answer your question, right now, Tenant Controls and Madman, we've been absorbing whatever. They haven't been too outrageous, or we've been paying about 10 to 15% when we buy components, even in the United States, like from Mauser or DigiKey. Um, but I haven't bought them in the last week. And come to find out, this past Friday, um, President Trump signed an executive order to charge tariff on this. There's a Latin term for it, which escapes my mind now. But basically, when you order stuff that's cheap, like $5, $10, $20, like on eBay, that's a good example. A
Uh,
lot of people buy. A lot of those companies are Chinese-based companies, LED strips, this and that, and you buy it, and we haven't had any tariffs. They just come through the
it,
mail.
it,
Whatever.
it was something that was, wait, it was, yeah, the executive order was, charging a tariff on things from China over $800, I think it was.
Yeah, but now it's under 800.
It's under 800. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
that's the thing.
Okay.
It's
So,
it's a new tariff, a new executive order to target low cost orders. And basically the reason for that is because we get a lot of orders. I mean, you got what, 360 million Americans,
right.
and say 100 million buy online. So
Right.
they're spending a lot of money, even though that comes in at $20, $30, $50, $100. Just to give you an example, I needed more. We all, as modelers, we know LED strip tape that comes in a roll. Well, I was out of my blues, so I go back to the entity that I used on eBay to buy because it's just easier and they work great. They're not, they're not bad LED strips. They're very good. But
Mhm.
anyway, I went back and I said, okay, buy again. But this time, George, I saw shipping was $200.
Wow.
From zero shipping to $200 in a matter of weeks. I said, okay, maybe these guys have caught on that, the tariff was they got wind of it, that they were gonna come on. So what I did is I went to another seller, and they didn't have any $200 shipping, and they had free shipping, so they haven't caught up yet. So I ordered from them. But these are the things you got to be aware of. So I'm like you guys. I don't want to, I don't want to spend a lot of money because I don't want to increase my costs. So I have
Right.
to be diligent, about being savvy of when to get them. If we're lucky enough, things, that the stars and the moons all lined up, and we don't have any costs, additional costs. But yeah, so we gotta just play it smart, and I'm trying to hold out, not buying things as much as I can until this tariff situation is under control or resolved.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, uh, there's some people in the modeling they buy these lighting kit, not lighting kits, but the models, like
Mm.
and they have Steve. As a matter of fact, again, Steve, we have a lot of conversations. He stopped the container from coming over here because he would have to pay 145%
Wow.
on it. So
Yeah, I've been finding there there's a place in Pennsylvania here called Ollie's. I don't know if you have one there, but Ollie's basically buys from stores who are going out of business, and they
Oh.
take their stock and they just sell it. It's kind of like a Dollar General almost,
Yeah.
but and I found the Enterprise shuttle kit, the Galileo with the crew. If you go to Amazon, it's like $62 for the kit. Go to Ollie's, it's $25 for the kit. They take like overstocks and they just buy in bulk, and they sell these kits for like so cheap. And I'm like, okay,
they got them for cheap, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
they probably got them for cheap. And I was like, there's like three of these things for like $25. I could buy three of these kits for $75, and I could charge maybe 30 and make like $90, whatever. I mean, I could do like a resale, but yeah, I was like, wow, this is really cool stuff. Yeah, I've noticed the tariff situation with and the increased prices because I get I get my electronic components from AliExpress. And
Yes.
AliExpress, of
Mhm.
course, is China. It takes a couple of months, or it'll take a month or so, like to get there. But instead of just buying the components, because some of the components now, like some of the flexible LED filaments are are like maybe $3 for one, where they used to be 80. They used to be like $1.25 with free shipping for 10. Now it's $3 for one. If you want to buy 10 of them, it's $30 for 10 plus certain shipping or whatever. And I'm like, wow, I'm actually looking at it and seeing it. So what I do now is I will buy a flashlight. A flashlight will have those components in it. I'll buy one flashlight for like $1.25, or I'll buy 5 flashlights and then just take the components out of the flashlight and use that in the model as my lighting.
I've heard people, yeah, do that. It's amazing if you cover enough, I guess, or to know that you can do that. Some people don't, but that's that's what they say. Necessity is
Yeah,
the mother of invention. It makes people think out of the box.
yeah,
Yeah.
engine. So this is a thing that I got from China. Find out. Here. So this is a flashlight that I got from China.
Yeah.
It has, it has LEDs and stuff. It's very bright. I don't know if I can. It has kind of like the red and blue,
Yeah.
flashing light on it. But I could take that component out and I could put it into a model,
Yep.
or I could take the individual LEDs and put them there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do that with the Mars lander that I made many years ago for
Mhm.
IPMS. I'm gonna redo it again, and I need to get. I think I may need to get one of your boards again. I think the remote control. I lost the remote control for some reason because it was very small, and I lost the remote control. So I'm gonna have to I have to get another one. I can't get just the remote control because that goes to that board. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to
Plus-
rebuy the kit.
Plus
Yeah.
these new ones, George, you'll be much happier with. I almost how many years ago now? Probably about 68 years ago. Yeah, about 8 to 9 years ago, I was getting very disillusioned, upset, because if we make the remote controls here with our technology, it'd be very expensive. So again, it was very easy to go overseas and get the little remote control board with the fob at a reasonable price. But they were analog, and they had a little tuning ferrite, it had a tuning coil,
Right.
in the old analog circuits. Some of them would work, up to 100 feet away. Some would not work even at 2 feet away. So at one time, I'm saying, thank God it wasn't all of them, but on one batch, it was like 30% of them were bad. That was the worst.
Wow.
That's what got me
Man.
thinking I shouldn't make these remote controls because people are just going to throw them against the wall and get frustrated because they're not working. But to their credit, as an industry, they went digitally. They went with a phase lock loop chip with a crystal. So
Oh.
anytime you
Okay.
go with digital, it's almost bulletproof. All the remotes I've been getting the last 6, 7 years, they work
Nice.
out of the box. No fuss, no muss. No having to dick around with trying to tune it myself, whatever. These are great. And since we're on remotes, some people will say, well, can you change the frequency for me? Because I don't want it to interfere with one of my other remotes. I said, well, you don't change the frequency. The frequency is set. But what you can do is you can change the key code.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
inside the little fob, the 4-button fob, and the remote control board, there's 8 positions, and it's on the PC board. There's a middle, they call it a high and a low. The high
Mhm.
is, their voltage plus voltage, low is 0, ground. If you short any one of 8, in either high or low, and you do the same with the fob, now they talk a different language, but it's the same language. You get the same key code. So now this set will
That's right.
not interfere with a default setting.
Right.
So I actually have a customer,
Okay.
every time he goes, Ralph, I need another one of your remote controls. Because what he does is he lights the ship, and then he likes to use my remote controls. Like he buys the 4 toggle one on off. So you can control 4 items.
Right. You do 4.
Okay.
Yeah. You do 4 positions, and then you hit the toggle, and then you do another 4 positions. So you have 8 positions basically.
No.
Is
We
it that one?
we potentially could do that, but this is just a 4-position toggle.
Oh, okay.
All right.
One button, you get light 1 to go on and off. But anyway, he goes, so he's up to I. That's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. He's got 9 remotes for me. So we're going to keep counting up. We're going to, theoretically, I guess we got like 300, how many positions? 2 to the 8. That's a lot, 128,000 positions we can potentially do. But that's how you get around for one remote not interfering with the other one.
So I
Okay.
had seen at Jersey Fest you did I think it was the 1/350 scale Constitution refit, and you did it was a Bluetooth thing that you had on your phone, and you
Yes,
could use your phone to control the board, which I thought was fantastic.
right. Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
You could do like the ramp up, you could do the strobes, you could do the navs, you could do all this other stuff. I didn't know if you could do sound. If you could do the sounds from your phone to the model, I didn't know if that was
No,
possible.
what we did is our app is pretty rudimentary. It just basically it just sends, even though there's like you can use a tablet, there's multiple uh, pages, if you will, like internal lighting, intelligent lighting, which means nav, strobes. We got a weapons, we got a deflector dish, and we got a page just for audio. We got 9 clips in the SD card. You can add them, to them. You can subtract one and add one because our app, we only designed it to have 9 clips, 9 buttons. I mean, we could have designed to have 30, but that's getting crazy. But anyway, you hit the button and it just sends a signal to the board that has a Bluetooth board receiver that talks to the micro through RS communication,
Right.
and it says, "Go do this." That's basically all it does.
Okay.
Because when you have apps, you got to be worried about privacy and things like that. Our app is very dumb. In other words, it doesn't collect any data. It doesn't talk back to the mothership. Nothing. It just it's from if you have it on your phone to my board. End of story. It just sends information to it. Actually, it doesn't even receive information from the board. The app is just a one-way communication. So
Oh.
basically, say, do this, do this, do this, and the board takes. It's almost like having a remote control instead of 4 buttons, like 100 buttons, for lack of a better
Right.
word. You just press this button to do that. Except with an app, you can do it easier. You can do it through a Bluetooth.
It reminds me of the old X10 system, the old X10 home systems with with the modules for the different light. You used to like plug like your lamp
Yeah.
into the module, plug it in the thing, and then you had you had a remote, but
Like a
that
smart home thing.
well, it was the smart home thing in I think in like the 90s. In the early 90s, it would send a pulse through the actual like the wiring in the home to
Yes.
tell the module to turn the lamp on.
At a certain frequency, so they
Yeah, at a
understand.
certain frequency. Yeah, and then you can adjust the address, so you could set the lamp to 1. You
Mhm.
could set the other lamp to 2. You could set, and it had like, I think it had like 10 or 15 positions you could set it to. But that the X10 controller had had like 10 buttons, had 10 toggles,
Right.
but it also had a thing where you would flip it and you'd have like 20. So
Oh, okay.
you'd have
Double it
like
up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You flip it back, you have 11, 12, 13, up to 20.
So they didn't
and
have
then
20 buttons. You get 10 buttons.
yeah. So but you were using basically the same buttons but on a different like a different frequency, sending it through a pulse in your home. And I just remember those things. I was like going, oh yeah, no, yeah, that would be really cool if they could do that remotely, and you did. So
Yeah,
Problem solved.
We actually that's a sore subject for me right now with the Bluetooth. We had Apple send us a letter. We have a iOS app.
all right.
If you have an Apple phone, you can use the iOS app to control our ship. Well, Apple says, hey, you got to spruce up your app, blah, blah, blah. You got to do this, you got to do that. You got to make it more relevant. And if not, we're going to dump your app. Well, you look up all the different things on Apple, the developer site, things like that. And there's no clear cut meaning what they mean. Okay.
Right.
So we can spend a couple of thousand. First of all, our app is rudimentary. Our app is not for the 360 million people in the United States or the billions of people throughout the world. It's not one of those apps. So we don't have to make it engaging like they want.
Right.
Change the skin, change this, change that.
Right.
Because it's just made for you guys. You just want it to work. So, and they wouldn't give me any guidance. They say, look at our guidance page. I look at it, but there's no guarantee that if we spend the money, you got to resubmit it like we did. Well, when did we come up with a Bluetooth app? 8 years ago, 9 years ago?
Yeah.
We submitted to Apple, and they said, yeah, it's all good. We allow it to be on our iTunes store, our Apple store for download. That was all cool. Well, the thing is, we don't charge anybody for the app. What that translates to, that Apple doesn't get a cut of royalties. So,
They don't like that.
No, they don't like that at
paying so
all.
much money a year to be on the store. But basically, I had to say, you're not going to give me guidance. I talked to the technical people through email. You don't talk to them on the phone. I said, just tell me what I exactly explained to them what I just explained to you. This app is not made for the millions of people on the internet. It's just made for a handful of people
Yeah.
to buy a lighting kit. That's it. So unless you can tell me what to do for sure that it's going to pass it, I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars to redo this, and then you potentially could poo-poo it, so it's not good enough or what have you.
Gilbert knows that.
Mhm.
Oh,
Gilbert
Oh,
knows that because he's trying to
listen,
create an app for the radio station, and Apple is making him jump through hoops with flames on them.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I'm
I just
And the thing is, what makes it so frustrating is for Android, it is the simplest thing. It is the
Yes.
absolute simplest method. So there's just, you pay your developer's fee and then boom, you could just go.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I understand about privacy and everything. We had to put a privacy notice on it, and they
Right,
did
right.
diligent. They being Apple, they approved us. This is all bullshit stuff about making it fresh and this and that. It doesn't need to be, because it's only for
Said
you
no
know, we
because
sell like 10 to 20 a year. It's not like we're selling millions of them, for iOS. So make a long story short, I decided that we would no longer support, well, through Apple, we're not going to support iOS because we can't get our app to be downloaded from, and you can only, for iOS, you can only download it from the iTunes store or the Apple store. I can't give them, I could give you the app for you to put on your phone, but if it's an Apple phone, your Apple phone will say, this is not an approved app. You can never use it on our phone. So from now on, anybody that buys our Bluetooth board, they just have to use an Android device.
I was gonna say, would you be able to use an NFC tag to make the board do something? Like,
Well, that's a whole
because
different technology.
well, the NFC
Like-
tags on Amazon, they're like I think they're like $7 for like 20 tags, but the tag itself can be used with Android or iOS. And
I've
It-
never seen them. I'm not sure what is
the NFC tag, it's a near field communication. So if you basically take if you take the QI charger antenna and put it to the tag, it can read the tag, but you can actually program the tag from any phone to do something like, or you could program it to do a command. You could program it to go like, because I've seen they have something, it's an NFC bracelet. So if you wear that at a show and you forgot your cards and you can't give out any more cards, you have the bracelet. You just go to this and somebody goes like this, and your stuff appears on there, like your contact information appears on there. What I found with the NFC tags was the NFC Tools app is free for iOS. I think it's also free for Android. You can make the NFC tag do things, though. You can make it, like you can program it to make it do a command. So I was saying, if the board can somehow, if you could program the tag
So what
to
you're
the
saying,
board.
what you're saying, you got this NFC tag, right?
Right.
Let's call it's a piece of paper, right?
Right.
You put the phone on top of it.
Yeah, you put it on the tag. Yeah, you put it on the tag. It reads the tag, but you
Okay.
can program the tag. You could program the tag to do something.
Through your
Like
phone, through the development
Right.
page. Okay, so that would mean somehow we'd have to develop. So we'd have to have we'd have to have a new app that could read the NFC commands and then translate that through Bluetooth back to our board.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something that you could. I'm.
Okay,
I
that
don't know.
would.
I'm just throwing it out there. It could be like a developmental thing.
Saying that would.
But I mean, that would get around the whole Apple thing.
Will Apple allow that? I guess you got the phone, and yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, you're
Uh,
not downloading it, right?
What?
You're not downloading it.
No,
No.
you're not downloading it. I mean, you like if you went to a show and you have the bracelet and you put all your tenant controls information. I think it's the 150 bytes. I think it's like it's anywhere from I forget what the NFC tag was.
It's NFC near field. Yep.
It's near field communication.
Yep.
It's basically an RFID chip, and then it has an antenna. So the disc that you would buy from Amazon has like a little peel and press thing. You can like press it on there. Press it onto the thing. So say like, if I was at the tenant controls table, you can have all these NFC tags on all of your stuff and just say, well, and they'll go, well, what is this board? Well, all right. Like most people have their phones with them now.
Yeah.
You take the phone, you put it to the tag, it reads it, and it goes, oh, this is the Star Destroyer, board that we sell, blah, 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 blah.
QR code that sends you to a web page that has all that information.
Right. You could do
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your example about the products on the line.
Yeah. But I mean, to actually program the board,
Mhm.
it would be an RFID tag that would be somehow connected, to the board to tell the board to do, I guess like to turn on.
Yeah.
You could
That-
do,
Yeah. That would be
something like that.
and two different things. Well, it's something to think about because right now we just have the Android app. But
Yeah.
like I used to tell people before we had the iOS app, I said, listen, you can buy cheap Android tablets for like 50 to 80 bucks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You don't have to use it as long as it's got Bluetooth, just put, a lot of these tablets can connect to the internet. You just download it. I send you the app, the link to the app myself. You download it and then you can use it. It's not an expensive, like you have to buy $1,000 Android device. They're very cheap and it works.
Yeah. That's why Gil wants to get the Flipper Zero
Yeah, for educational purposes.
for
Yeah.
for educational purposes only. Yes. So
Yep. No, there's a lot of things going on out there for sure. You gotta, it's sometimes you can't keep up with everything.
in the 3 months that hopefully we're going to be off, for Model Citizen, if there are any models that you need me to build you, please contact me. Tell me, I need this, I need that. I will build you the model. I will paint the model. I will light the model with the board. I will send it to you.
Oh,
Just please, just tell me.
okay.
Just to say, hey, I need this.
All
I will
right.
try to find the model. I'll get it. If I can't find the model, I'll have James, make me the model because he has a 3D printer, and we'll just get it going. Because
Wow.
I like your videos, I like what you do, but sometimes you're like, well, we really don't have a mock-up. I'm like,
Yep.
but people want to, they want to see the model, they want to see it painted, they want to see like the Sea View. I love the Sea View kit. I love the fact that it has a demo mode on it, where it turns all the lights on. It's all to scale and everything, but people just want to see, they want to see the kit. And I know you're not a model maker. You are a board maker. I get it. But and I don't know if you have the room to keep all these models
I do
around.
not. That's why I have all these ships in my. I was just thinking the other day because there's a gentleman that approached me about potentially buying another company. The guy wants to get out. He's been in the business for a long time. Starling Electronics. You guys know them. They're
Oh
another.
yeah. I know
I
Starling.
think he's had it as far as
Oh,
a manufacturer. So this guy that I've sold things to, he calls me up early in the morning. I said, "Don't you sleep?" Because he's out in Salt Lake, you know.
oh,
So I've been up working since 1 o'clock in the morning. I have this light day job. But make a long story short, he goes, I like his stuff. You know, he goes, I don't want it to go away. He goes, you bought Madman, would you be interested in buying Starling? I said, that's too much. Because we have duplicate, it'll be a duplicate system.
right.
And then I'm saying, I see between the area I got at work and the area here, I'm using about almost 600 square feet, 800 square feet for tenant control. I don't have more room. I got some of these ships that are just hanging, on shelves, bookcases, or, that to hold them in some, because once I'm done with them, what am I going to do with them? I suppose some of them are half built,
Right.
they're not painted
Okay.
like my
Oh,
Toss,
okay.
it's all taped up and things like that because we had to tear it apart. Because first we did the lighting kit for it with the rotational LED effects. Then people were clamoring, no, we want the motor effects. I had to tear it apart again and put the motors in. So the poor thing's like, Frankenstein. But I'm going to put you on, since you offered, George, I'm going to put you on the spot. Yes, build me a 39-inch Seaview so we can use it as a demo.
I have a 39-inch Seaview I got from Jeff Polozato. So
There you go.
there you go.
I'll send you the lighting kit if you need it.
Yes, please send me the
do?
lighting kit, and
Yep.
I'll build it because
All right.
I need to get it. I need to get it going.
And
And how I was like going, I got to get this thing done. It's just sitting there.
lights.
I have the one I've been building was the Proteus, the submarine from Fantastic Voyage. I have. I don't think you make a lighting kit for that, but
Yeah. So I made myself a note, George.
okay.
And the Seaview lighting kit to George.
Thank you very much. It does come with the
Awesome.
flying sub, so we're
No,
gonna try
what
to.
do you mean?
No.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean yours. Okay.
No. I could do the flying sub myself. That's fine. That's fine.
I don't
It comes with it comes with like a 1/72nd. I think it's 1/72nd scaled flying sub that fits inside the
wow.
like, in the belly. But
Yeah.
okay,
All right.
all right.
Great.
Nice.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ralph, for being on today. This has been Model Citizen. It is 3:07. I don't think we are. I don't think we have any other people who are going to be on at 3 o'clock. So thank you very much, Ralph. Ralph from Tenant
welcome.
Controls. Always a pleasure to have you on. You can be on anytime. Anytime you have a new kit and you want to get there. I actually want to have a program with you and Jack Lynch. Jack Lynch is the owner and operator of AAA Hobbies
Oh, nice.
in Magnolia, New Jersey. I had talked to him at the sidewalk sale. He said he would love to be on. I didn't know if you wanted to be on together. Maybe the two of you can hash it out and say, hey, I got lighting kits, you got models, let's get together. Let's, one hand washes the other and both hands wash the face, as it were. So, all right. So, I'll set that up. I might set that up in a couple more weeks.
All right, bud.
So,
Well, thank you.
thank you very much, Ralph. This has been Model Citizen. I am your host, George Dare. My wonderful co-host, Angry IT Nerd Gilbert, and I know why he's angry, because he hates Apple. He can't stand Apple.
With the passion.
And apparently Ralph can't stand Apple. No, but
Well, it is what it is.
yeah, it is what it is.
All right, guys. Listen.
All right.
Gonna
Take
go.
care.
Have a
Thank
good
you very
one.
much.
Take care, George. Bye-bye now.
All right. Take care.
Oh, that has been Model Citizen. And I want to thank Ralph for being on, and thanks to everybody who was in the chat. We do have a season finale coming up for Model Citizen, May 31st, I believe, and our return will be September 6th. That will be after Labor Day. It will be the Saturday. September 6th. We will return in September 6th, but May 31st will be our last show for the summer. We're going to take a summer break, so I could build the model for Ralph, and then he can show it to you, and hopefully, get all that stuff done, and everybody will be happy, and maybe
And life will be good.
Actually, get something to eat. So
Life will be good.
life will be good. Life will be good. Yes. So. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful day and afternoon, and thank you, sir.